So I mentioned a little bit earlier working for Nokia, which is a very global company, and I saw an impact in a number of different places. So first of all was just that you have competitors from countries that you never used to think about before, and clearly from Nokia's perspective, some of the manufacturers that were popping up in China was very interesting. The second thing is that when you're making product, you actually have to think about, is this product applicable in a local market that's somewhere else in the world? So, years ago we made product for the US, by the US, in the US, and it's no longer like that. And you've got to be able to do a lot of customization and understand local markets. You've got to be able to expand your sales force into other countries. And someone from the US can't necessarily go into Europe or into a developing nation to sell. So you need to be able to expand your business that way. And then one of the biggest ones is just regulatory policy. As you start thinking about product, and in particular, when we talk about data and big data, there's an awful lot of privacy policy around it. There's a lot of intellectual property protection that's got to be taken into consideration. So even though we think of the world now at a global level, it still is country by country, region by region, city by city, when you think about putting your product in there, putting your sales force in there, dealing with local regulatory compliance and all of that kind of stuff.
Right. Laurie?
Yeah, and I would just supplement that with a couple of points about doing business globally personally. So when I first took my global job in 2001 or 2, the first thing I noticed was that every meeting keeps going around the clock and there's no time to sleep, right? And so it was like, now it seems normal, but it was never-ending stream of things to do. And so it took some adjustment to understand how to work in a continuous follow-the-clock environment. But what I did was, I was very lucky. I actually built our global pre-sales team for our software business. We started with about 1,400 people, mostly in the United States and Europe, and we built it to about 5,000 people before I moved on. And what I did was, I went in each country and I worked beside the team, and I immersed myself with the team so I could feel what is it like to travel to the customer? What is it like to meet with the customer? What is it like to receive everything that we think of in New York, out there, in the line where they've got so many things coming at them? What are people worried about? Who do they need to talk to? And what I found it's been for me about 15 years working globally, is that you can actually really become a global citizen. You don't have to read all the books and think, don't do this, don't do that. Because if you're in a country and people see that you're trying, they'll forgive you for the mistakes that you might make in terms of etiquette. And you can actually really connect with them so that when you go back and work in New York, you can accurately reflect, this is how the market works. And so, we've done a lot of work in our company to have global processes and consistency and to promote diversity and have global teams work together. But I would just say that on a personal level, the more that you can work out in the countries with people and be part of who they are, it'll just come back to you a million times in terms of, feeling of accomplishment, good things for the business and also good things for the people and what they're trying to achieve.
Lynne, you work for a French company. Anything you would want to add to that?
Don't join a French company July 28th because they all take August off, and I did that, and no one told me that. So I was like, okay, I'm here. No, I think I would just really echo the words that were just said. They're brilliant. It's like walking the other person's shoes. I think I've done a really good job trying to understand the French and the French culture, but we're a global company, so it's not just understand the French, it's travel the world, have the same log of miles, and people do forgive you. It's about, do you try and understand, and make people, and people actually try to adapt more to me than I want to adapt to them, but there's a lot of, especially in some other cultures, you come in and you're the big cheese, and they want to entertain you in a Western style, and it's like in Korea they spent 25 minutes trying to get a table and chairs because I they were afraid I wouldn't sit on the floor. And I'm like, I do yoga, I can sit on the floor. But anyway, it's like people, it's about people, and I think it's a skill that women have uniquely. I'm not saying anything negative about men, but I think just the concern you showed for how you build a global team and get them energized, I thought that was brilliant.